I talk a lot in the videos that I do and in the emails that I send and in person, I guess, about decanting wine. And so I thought I'd do a little tutorial on what it means to decant wine and why you decant wine. There's three main reasons for decanting wine. One is for very young wines, because if you decant them, it makes them seem, when you drink them, makes them seem to be a little older. It also volatilizes the chemicals in the wine, so because 70% of what you taste is what you smell, it increases the aromatic impact of the wine, so it makes the wine taste more, maybe more intense might be the right word, but anyway, it tastes better. The second reason would be in an older wine, either white or red, especially Sauterne, that will have sediment, and you stand the wine up, let the sediment settle to the bottom of the bottle, and then decant the wine off the sediment into some kind of vessel, then the wine will taste better because the tannins are bitter and gritty, and basically just somewhat unpleasant to look at and taste. Then the third reason is in especially screw cap wines, and a lot of German Rieslings can be what's called reductive, which mainly means that the SO2, the sulfur dioxide in the bottle, hasn't had a chance to dissipate. So decanting wines that are reductive helps them show better when you taste them. So that's the three main reasons that you decant wine. And in general, I would say almost all wine, young, old, white, red, rosé, even some champagnes, will taste better if you decant them. So here's how you go about decanting wine. One, ideally you would stand the bottle up for as much as 2 weeks before you're going to serve it, because then it will be completely, brilliantly clear. And then, but if not, even a couple of hours or a day will eventuate that the sediment settles to the bottom of the bottle, and you can decant the wine effectively. So we've stood this wine up, and now we're going to open it and decant it. So the first thing you do is to remove the capsule. One thing is you want to at least remove the capsule below this neck right here, because a lot of capsules are made of lead. But what I generally do is just pull the whole thing off. Especially if I'm going to decant the wine, it makes it easier to see through the neck of the bottle. The next thing to do, especially with old wines, because there will be sometimes some grunge around the top of the bottle, is to wipe off the top of the bottle before you remove the cork. Then remove the cork. All the while, the bottle is sitting stable on the table, because you don't really want to jostle the bottle, because that stirs the sediment up in the wine. So I remove the cork. Hopefully I don't break it, but it's not the end of the world if you do. Cork is an organic substance. It's been in there in that dark, humid place for a long time. Sometimes corks break. It doesn't really necessarily mean there's anything wrong with the cork or wrong with the wine. Next thing, smell the cork. Make sure the bottle's not cork tainted. This one's not. It's perfect. So next thing is wipe off the top of the bottle again in case there's any grunge around the top. You don't want it to fall in the wine. If it's a really old wine, sometimes there will be stuff inside the neck here of the bottle. If there is, what I do is take my little finger and reach down in there and just wipe all that out. If you have fastidious guests, you might want to do that with your back to them so they can't see you. So the next thing is to decant the wine. This is a decanter. It's a fancy crystal decanter. I don't think my wife knows I have it here today, but she will when she sees this video. But this could be anything. It could be a water pitcher or any kind of vessel that you're just going to pour the wine in from the bottle into the decanter, leaving the sediment in the bottle. If this is a young wine and we're doing it for aeration purposes, then you're just going to, aggressively pour the wine into the decanter, because that's going to help with that process. But we're assuming this is an old wine with sediment that we've allowed to settle to the bottom of the bottle over whatever period of time we were able to do so. So we take the wine, we have a candle. This candle, one of the things, misperceptions some people have about decanting wine is they think the purpose of the candle is to warm the wine as it goes from the bottle in the decanter. That's not true. The last thing you ever want to do really to wine is warm it. The purpose of the candle is that you can look down through the bottle it's a light source. Look down through the bottle at the candle, and it helps you see when the sediment starts flowing with the wine into the bottle, into the decanter. You want to stop pouring then, so that you leave the sediment in the bottle and only clear wine in the decant. So I always store, and I think this is a good idea, I always store wine on its side with the label up. One, it's easier to see the label and see what the wine is. Two, then I know that the wine's been sitting on this side, and if there's any sediment and cross it on the side of the bottle, it'll be on this side. So I want to grab the bottle by the label. It also is a little more secure to hold on to. And I just turn the bottle over, pour it into the decanter over the candle, looking down through the wine at the candle, waiting to see the sediment start to come with the wine. And that just, I just pour slowly and steadily. And I'm waiting and watching, thinking about how delicious this wine's going to be, thinking about what kind of food I might want to eat with it, thinking about the wonderful guests I'm going to enjoy it with. And now here comes I see the ghost of the sediment start to come, and as it reaches the shoulder of the bottle, I stop. So now I have about maybe an ounce of wine and sediment in the bottle, and I have about 25 ounces of clear wine in the decanter. This will taste much better than this, or it'll taste much better than it would have if this sediment had been in the wine. If this is some really extraordinary bottle of wine, really valuable bottle of wine, I might want to filter the wine left in the bottle to clean the sediment out of it and save that and drink it separately from this, because it will taste different. Drink it separately from this. My advice is decant almost all wine. White wine, red wine, everything, and even some old champagne sometimes have sediment. Almost every wine tastes better if you decant it. Younger wines will taste older and more voluptuous, and older wines will just taste better because the sediment being left in the bottle. There's the issue about how far in advance to open a bottle of wine, how far in advance to decant a bottle of wine. That's kind of complicated, and in order to answer that question, it requires a lot of experience opening, decanting, tasting wine. So I promise you ever have any questions, you want to know how many hours in advance should I open this bottle of wine, how many hours in advance should I decant this bottle of wine, you email me, you call me on my cell phone. I'll be glad to answer the question for you, as I always am. I would say the older the wine, the shorter the period between when you open it and decant it and when you serve it. Thanks for watching. Cheers.